Book 3, Chapter 18, Honor. It is the day of our community event at the seniors' facility, and I feel anxious, nervous really, and I feel lonesome for Sir. The event has been organized with such ease as we have done fundraisers before, and our class is really working together to make this an extra special day. My dad brings my mom and Paige first to the facility. Then he brings Sky Charles, Hemingway, my little brother, and all his circus stuff, along with me. My brother is very excited on the way there. He keeps talking to Sky Charles and Hemingway about the performance and what they are to do. I do believe they understand every word he says. "You will have a great performance," he says. Then with a giggle he adds, "There are many people who want to meet you and get your autograph." We pull up close to the front door so my dad can bring in the items. As I get out of the truck, I see that Charles, Limerick, and Baxter are waiting there to help us. "Hey, you guys, thanks so much," I say as I hand them the hoops and the bars for the jump. My mom has the outfits with her. For this performance, she has outdone the last costumes. This time, they have handkerchiefs, coats with their names, their hats, and on each hat, she's placed an old-fashioned brooch along with the feather that sticks out on top. They look like they are in a circus, for sure. As we get set up, my dad is speaking with Miss Austen and Mr. Max. Everyone is making sure to get front row seats. My mom sits beside Miss Austen and Paige beside my mom. Dad sits beside Mr. Max. "Charles, are you prepared? Is your speech prepared?" "Yes, Finn, it is. But this time I don't feel as confident. This time I found it hard to write something down." I look at him with concern and ask, "Will you be okay?" "Yes, I will. I just feel, I feel a loss in my heart." "I know, Charles. I wish Sir were here, but I want to think that he is. I know Tiernan will be putting on his circus performance thinking Angel Sir Edward is watching front row center." We both grin at Tiernan being so loving. Once again, Mr. Willis is the master of ceremonies, and once again, all tickets are sold out. The facility is filled with joy and happiness. The residents are dressed up. It is going to be a great evening. Tiernan is the first to perform. "Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats," Mr. Willis announces. We all get settled. I am behind the curtain with Tiernan, Charles, Limerick, Sky, and Hemingway. I am getting their outfits adjusted when I notice Tiernan's boots. "Little man, those are some fancy boots." He looks at me with pride and says, "Mom helped me." His rubber circus boots are shining with sequins. They really are fancy. Tiernan laughs quietly, not to be heard. He is also wearing his cowboy hat, now lined with sequins. My mom and brother must have had fun with all that glue, I think to myself. Mr. Willis continues, "Our first act has been performing for a year now. However, these performers aren't new to the stage. I want to share with everyone the animals in this great circus have been adopted from the local animal shelter, and because of the loving family that adopted them, we are able to witness their fine acts of bravery." Everyone cheers. "Are you ready?" I ask. Tiernan, with a nod and a look of determination, stands strong. Sky and Hemingway are in their positions as the curtain opens. My brother stands quietly once again until he can see my mom. With her loving wink and admiration, the circus starts. With the blow of Tiernan's whistle, Sky Charles runs and jumps higher than ever before. The audience is cheering and clapping. It appears the more they cheer, the better the tricks get. Tiernan stands peacefully and places his finger to his mouth to ask the audience to be quiet for the next performance. This is new for me. I'm not sure what he is going to do. He gets Hemingway off my shoulder and stands the pair before the hoops. Everyone remains silent, watching his every move. I can see Tiernan looking towards the heavens, saying, "Thank you." On cue, he calls forth Hemingway, who then jumps through the hoop. Next is Sky Charles, and before anyone can applaud, the pair jump through together. Everyone is on their feet, clapping and cheering. Tiernan looks at Mr. Willis for assistance. "May I say something?" he asks. Mr. Willis says, "Sure, Tiernan," and hands him the microphone. Nobody is expecting this, certainly not me or my family. He blows into the microphone and everyone giggles. He has everyone's attention. In his gentle, baby talk voice, he whispers, "This next circus trick is for a special person. I dedicate this trick to Angel Sir Edward." The smiles quickly become compassionate expressions. Everyone knows the event is taking place to honor the great man we know as Sir. I know Angel Sir Edward is here. I know he is proud. My brother's soft words continue. And I know that heaven is on earth. I don't believe there is a dry eye in the room, and with that, he places Hemingway on Sky Charles's back. I look at my mother in shock. She has the same expression. Sky kneels down, and Hemingway takes his position. My brother takes time to adjust their hats, and the audience laughs with anticipation and full hearts. Tiernan stands holding the hoop, and Sky and Hemingway are ready. The room is silent. Then, with the cracking sound of the whistle, Sky jumps through the hoop with Hemingway perched on his back. The crowd erupts with cheers of delight as the two stand almost as if they are taking a bow. My brother and I stand together. We receive a standing ovation. The four of us are so proud to honor a great man who inspired the miracles of this great backyard circus. As we clear the stage, Mr. Willis speaks about the animals and the dedication that Sir gave to humanity. It is touching. I know we are changing the way people view the wellness of animals. I look out into the audience and I see Melba with tears and a big smile. I acknowledge her with a wave, as a way of saying, "Thank you for having me at the shelter." And thank you for having the animal shelter. As I gaze out towards the crowd, I notice a man standing at the entrance door. At that very moment, my heart speaks. Love is the answer. It's him, I say. It's the mystery man. I race to my dad and whisper about the man standing at the back of the room. My dad peers to see, then asks Miss Austen and Mr. Max to confirm. "That's him," Miss Austen says. Mr. Max nods in agreement. I wonder what he wants. As we are trying to figure out how to solve this puzzle, the next act is called on to perform. Charles is on stage after that. My dad decides to introduce himself to the man so he can find out who he is. I take my dad's seat between Miss Austen and Mr. Max. Charles's turn comes up. My heart is racing. It is all happening so quickly. He takes center stage and adjusts the microphone to his height. He is dressed in a black suit with a white shirt and a gold tie. He looks really sharp. His presence commands attention. Once again, the room is silent. I turn around to see my dad, but he and the man aren't there. My dad must have asked him to step into the lobby. I focus back on Charles and my heart is racing. What is Charles going to say? Who is the man? When did Tiernan train Hemingway to sit on Skye's back? With that last thought, my heart begins to settle. I stand before you today, lost for words. Charles looks around at the audience as if looking into everyone's eyes. I am lost for words because of the loss in my heart for the great man we all know as Sir. The room remains quiet. This man is the reason we have all come together to honor the animals on our planet, to help little hearts in need. It is Sir who taught us to donate to great causes, such as the protection of our planet's elephants, wildlife, and our local animal shelters. I stand before you with no words. I stand before you to represent the love that Edward shared with us. Love has no words. Love is a feeling deep within. How do I find the words to describe the love of a man? The room is silent, but you can hear the gentle whisper of tears. Charles brushes back his hair and studies each face in the room. He has captured their hearts as well as their attention. I hear my heart speak. The answers come in silent moments. In that moment, I understand there is more power to Charles in silence than any word he can utter. Everyone sits in stillness. It is a moment of silence that fills the room with benevolence. I can feel the warmth. I can see the power that Charles has as everyone hears him speak words of silence. Charles looks out among the people and asks that we all give gratitude for a great man and a great cause. He looks into my eyes and takes a bow. He takes a bow and everyone is up and out of their seats to give him a standing ovation. We stand and clap, drying the tears from our cheeks. When I see my dad talking with Mr. Willis, my teacher then walks onto the stage and stands, waiting for everyone to settle back into their seats. Someday, this fine young man will be known as a great author, Mr. Willis says as he asks Charles to come back on stage for another round of recognition. Charles waves at everyone in a peaceful way, as a peaceful presence in stillness. He has changed the world. Mr. Willis announces, "We have a special request. There is a gentleman here who has traveled a long distance to be with us this evening to help honor our great friend. Please welcome." He looks to my dad for guidance and finishes by saying, "I'm sorry, everyone. I didn't quite get his name." Mr. Willis has such charm that the room simply smiles and claps as the unknown stranger walks on stage. "Hello, everyone," the man says, adjusting the microphone. "Thank you for the warm welcome. I have come unannounced, but I have come in search of a great man." The room is silent again, Everyone is wondering who this stranger is. The man you are honoring tonight has given much love towards all the people he's met. I, for one, have not had the opportunity to meet him. I was saddened to hear he had passed before I was able to get the chance. His voice is soft, his words from his heart. He looks kind and compassionate. Suddenly, I hear my heart speak up once more. Love is the answer, Finnan. I have traveled many miles seeking the man I know as Edward. For many years, my focus has been on finding him, and I have found his family and his beloved. We all just stare at the stranger. The man you are honoring, who has become everyone's family member, is my brother. We all keep staring in silence. My brother, who has been in my heart as I searched for him. The room silent. I have come many miles in search of a great man. I have found him, and I have lost him. All these years, and he isn't here when I arrive. What I have discovered as I walked my journey, seeking the greatest treasure, is that my older brother, whom I have never met, lives in my heart, for he has guided me to discover great pathways. All the people I have met along the way, all the places I have traveled and experienced. The treasure was the search for greatness, the search for family. I stand before you with an empty heart, but also a full heart, for I have discovered that treasures are found in our hearts and in the good deeds we do each and every day. And it isn't but one person who is a treasure. We are all treasures. It is what we give to others. Our legacy is the treasure to be shared. My brother shared wisdom. He shared kindness. He shared stories and guidance. He shared appreciation to all those he spoke with. My name is Dan, and I am Edward's brother. Everyone stands up to clap and to cheer. Everyone stands, some with canes, some with others to lean on. I hug my dad as tears roll down my cheeks. Dad, we found family. My mom is holding Tiernan, and all of a sudden, in a loud voice, he yells, "There he is!" Everyone takes note of my brother pointing to the stage beside the stranger we now know as Dan. "There he is," he says again, pointing with determination. Dan looks beside him at the empty space, then looks out to the people studying the stage. He looks out to Tiernan and says, "Yes, he is here." The end. We are complete.